Okay, here's another example. So suppose a firm recently paid a dividend of $1.50 a share. Also assume the dividends will grow at a constant rate of 5% per year indefinitely. If the rate of return is 14%, what is the price of the stock according to our dividend models? So again, we see that the dividends are going to grow at a constant rate of G. However, notice there's a subtle change between this example and the previous example. In this example, the firm recently paid a dividend, and in the previous example, the firm was anticipating paying the dividend. So this $1.50 dividend is not D1. This $1.50 dividend is D0. I hope that makes sense. So what we're going to do in order to solve this problem is we're going to use the Gordon growth model, but we're going to have to solve for D1. If you look over here in Excel, I have in D0 or in time 0, D0 is $1.50. I don't know what the dividend is going to be in year one. However, I know that it's going to be 5% higher than 150. For instance, if I take D1, or D0 rather, so D0 is going to be equal to this, and I know that the growth rate G is 5%, so I know that the growth rate is going to be 5% higher than this. So I'm going to say it equals this dividend in year 0 times 0.05. In other words, I know that D1 is going to be 8 cents higher than D0. So D1 is going to be equal to the sum of these two values. This brings up an important point. So I'm going to show you a few tricks that are going to be important when you're solving these types of problems. So notice that D1 is going to be equal to D0 times 1 plus G. That's what we did over here in Excel. We figured out what G is, so I'm going to multiply D0 times G to figure out what the actual amount of the growth of the dividend is going to be, and then I'm going to add that back in to D0. Does that make sense? In fact, I can do this. I can calculate what the dividend, assuming they're growing at a constant rate G indefinitely, I can calculate what the dividend is going to be in year 200. In D2, so to find D2, I'm going to take D0 times 1 plus G and times that by 1 plus G again. Or I can just call that D0 times 1 plus G raised to the second power. D3 is equal to D0 times 1 plus G raised to the third power. D100, 100 years from now, the dividend that will be paid is going to be D0 times 1 plus G raised to 100. So I hope that that makes sense. This problem becomes fairly easy with an understanding of how to get D1. So we assume D1 is $1.58. So using the Gordon growth model or the dividend discount or the dividend growth model, I'm going to say that the price today is equal to D1, which was calculated by taking D0 times 1 plus G, and I'm going to divide that by the difference between R, which is 14%, and the growth rate, which is 5%. So the price of this stock, given this information, is $17.50.